entawantawa anaso wokon kese pa na ato yemra hyebujafo ne omampani na pamfo entemu ana asa na tie ebebu my Ghana any democracy.
Maminchia injera family for nyina I'm saying the three arms of government, they have all their internal checks and balances. It was a executive to me and maybe also with the editor legislature and vice versa. Don't purpose will be say executive go beyond a certain way, then there is a need to say they will have to go back. So that is the essence of the checks and balances. The also no fabino a yen fabiso so enye. Na enye NSS say ahwe ye entimi my government business and koso. But the yen so NSS we don't have to make our president become a tyrant, or we don't have to wait for the president to become a monster before we try to exercise the monster out of him. Also then as a nation, we are getting something wrong. So I believe that yes,
Baba okaza president ever be monster crony abo ben and our any paben. I didn't know about a monster.
I have to say Kasakomno or Yardane me like minam go to meet Bia Wagana Chroma, Bia Masha. That is how Intino said. So Mampeni Bibi, the citizens he will become a tyrant. And once he becomes a tyrant, and you know, and they create you, Yani and Yajana Mana Ababa Bibisa. So we always have to call him to order.
True Quabes never fast Aqualino.
Ebina speaker, I know.
Okay.
Some say, some say, Emra oh, Emra the same Emra Quano, Domlevodian who sign here, even against an injunction. You love who sign even against injunction. When Ponan do court, no, who to me, they say, I crave over any, what to me will be a court, Supreme Court. Into what you catch a penny for the court, so be a barber court, and until no, at the sound of a court, so there will be an injunction.
Near be a question,
the question say, Adia and Rano, Andrew Court to proceed through court. It's very interesting. So the president is appropriately reprobating, and I don't think that is a principled position. It is not a principled position. And what is really annoying a bit is the fact to say, or say, who say, Omampeni has never been for the LGBTQ bill. He's never been for it. And I think the religious leaders should stop giving him the benefit of the doubt, because he's not been for it. He has never been for it. And it started in the Al Jazeera interview. So when there is the right advocacy, maybe like they were in the 60s, not UK, no, Europe, no, it will change in Ghana. It tells you that he is telling people to advocate, and that is how he started. Into the Bansenko for Addo ebesi from na omo aye mrabia ebetimi esi no, and before it also becomes something yentimi and true as it is a galamasi.
Doctor, TFO Addo no anhye dan nim ne ekọ support ntina me bisa question yi. Emra hyebeja fodo do no agye atumo se obi koye saade no a se be me kofa be ma oba kofa oba ne yama nipa nyina hu no yentwe na so. Se yaka awie ama emra hyebeja fo na Ghana fo nyina agye atum. Kwa ekọ mampani ho ne sen. Den o mampani koye okrata no ho anei waka che parliament so mo fakrata bia nsi na niso.
Bisabio
Bebesa mi hunu se sabre amra hyebejafo ŝìĝñ awie se o mampani mfa ne nsanhya se krata de komo mampani de be poti no koye no krata ne
ade no koye wo krata no
bill ya se no amra hyebejafo na ŝìĝñ awie se nyakopon ya adom na obi a ono de wo mu Ghana mra na dwe so befa bema befa bema ba befa oba amra ne ni no se krata ne yepese de komo mampani no ekodu mampani ni ma de no wo ya fa krata ne ho na dwuma ne se wo krata ne ho
ordinance abesi so no assign into law.
Good.
Now, I share the one signing into law, no. Yeah, one Supreme Court. So all that it's very premature. Sometimes I don't even know that's why they say that the law is an ass. You see, I just don't even know. Is it when the president has assented to it that is when it becomes law, or procedurally parliamentary procedures? MOB say the parliamentary procedures at the Supreme Court for the interpretation, and that's unlawful. I mean, the agenda is just too much. I mean, I feel for Dr. Bawumia because I was so the political cost, the political implication of the actions of the president. In this case, Dr. Bawumia opposition anything. The late Professor Mills made his position known. Mr. Muhammad's position has been made known. Dr. Bawumia, we are avowed Muslim, no? Our elections, no? Such a controversial issue. Ababeda Bambaswa, Omampeni, Nia, Emfa, Pasudia, Emrao, in terms of the prospects of the 2024 elections. What are you doing? You are quiet. I have never heard a single word about this LGBTQ. As far as Dr. Bawumia is concerned. And an avowed Muslim, I am say Islamic for there. Put your money to the highest. But we've never seen or heard anything. You see the implications. One, Dr. Bawumia one didn't know our party. Two, leadership ne dia mano no. Enya dia ne was say omodemano. The answer say is just a tenant trying to be a landlord, and that is going to create a problem for him. And people somewhere are calling the shots. Adia Alan Ekaye, and no. And into no other Bawumia, well, they know the way the Agyapong led leadership of government, that is how he will follow. How is he going to say something different? So he cannot convince me, say, he has a vision different from President Akufo. He cannot. Because it is not backed by practicality in terms of action and deed. And that is quite worrying. And I think with this posturing, the religious leaders, and in a say, well, good religious leaders anymore, as your son say, Abribiano, no, Omopana Kunya, money to be canny position also. Say, media Sadi women for us. But one said they were giving the president the benefit of the doubt. One in actual fact, the president has given hint, time without number, say, this thing is not for it.
Ubisa say adenti na ma bonte me kasa and the boss and the kasa na kwasi broni say silence means consent.
You are the leader of the party now. What are mampeni kukwarian to the swaba. Until say be a bibeka swaye ku adi tuno. The only time you bet me to through is 2024. But I should cramp on yesterday tuno the time and aso and a Ghana for be deciding on which way to go. But Dr. Bawumia cannot wait till later time to come and tell us that this is his position. At this time, a controversy na kwasuna Nkunu said no. Mampeni enya dia why you ready so be assented to this bill no. What is his position? For me, he is not demonstrating any kind of leadership. He's not.
Doctor, Mamenye will take Efa Nana Santibedi to statement or the Kuma Parliament, as well as Speaker,
Well, Master, do it here, Emwadi Sunsum and Uranimo.
And Yamon, as I was, and Yamon Sunsum,
and Yamon, yes, Emwadi Sunsum Uranimo. A son say to tell the clerk of Parliament, of which don't forget to say the next time, and Yama free cabinet ever Parliament, or no so one ever fans are co speaker once, Yadiama a parliamentarians in don't forget that. And that's the thing you are playing with. It is not disrespectful. It is gross arrogance. The arrogance of dying cockroach. That is what I'm seeing in particular letter. Can response no there. I am spot on. The son says, say you play according to Emradia. So I'm penny says some of the Supreme Court. Into the so it makes a lot of sense that the speaker will also say, and as had the meso so me mu emraso. And so you be trying Supreme Court area interpretation now. You approve your ministers or your appointees.
Ebani si obi fum ko obi mfum nya. Enti yemfa nse na asante be die to de wadi kan aka describe no say ni amon sunsun na awura ni mu. Enka speaker so nka ja wonwe no man no kakra na nka ja won tenten yaman so ye. Wodwe ho say.
The woman say, one can say with two way you bone. Anna, so would die on Penia say, and then Iraku for net is would die, sir, and your mom near my man of Coswa. What's now on penny for a bar, or no so but twasso. But twa and your mom so. Now, no twas no quack complaining about catch or say, I didn't in a way the one complaining, and maybe the moment of other complaining. And you know, said, dear, a bow near in Trasso, the two are here.
Executive no didn't so. Sarah na a legislature no didn't so. In this regard, yeah, separation of powers, they kind of saying.
Well, separation of powers does not mean say we don't relate to each other. We relate to each other. Baby, say where someone's right ends, and that is where another's begins. There is a need for internal cooperation between and among these three arms of government. That is all that it matters.
Say Ghana ya be standstill. Ya wo ministers bi hono mu a Sabri omuntimi in office kwa adwuma. Omo office nso hia pa especially interior ministry eda hokwa. Health nso eda hokwa. Speaker bufu ya ma say omo atwa fasoko. Sika bia na nkom hwe no se nke no na papa nkom betumi ahwe no maka ho asema wi. Na nkom beko Easter abai na nka bia yensan ka akura na nka kwan na tene. Abufu nti enema nwonan a say omo de akotena fi. Ogidi se afutu be tia wa na nka de ma yemra chebja fo na bebo.
It is always good to get it right than to say that had I known. Yes. This is not what will bring the nation down. Yes, it will affect our governance, not two ways about it. But let us get the right thing done first. If President feels a right to say, what? Ask yourself, a irreparable damage. And as I was signing we are. How will he suffer that irreparable damage? With the interview, I agreed that he had to sign because of my years. So we needed to start from somewhere and see, say, IMF no ye. But unfortunately, no, it did not work as planned. It did not work as planned, but we needed money. And you know, so it could have caused some kind of irreparable damage. He signed. But even that, he was injuncted not to do so. So, you know, let us get our act right, ensure self-democracy survives. That's the most important thing. If the legislature does not check the executive, tomorrow the executive will take more. The reason is that the executive is the one that controls the purse of the country. So they think that everybody is at their beck and call. I think that is not the case. There is no in this country without approval, the prior approval of Parliament. And that is of the checks and the balances. That was it.
But I remember a quick one, Major Makumo, so Dr. Jonathan Ochri Asante.